We have a presentation on MarTech at one of the world's largest home appliance companies by Joana Tene. She's a global MarTech lead at Whirlpool Corporation in the Netherlands. She's a passionate, results-driven marketeer with 15 years experience in B2C and B2B digital marketing, marketing ops, and marketing technology across Europe, the UK, Ireland, and the Americas. She's also a Philuminist, and if you don't know what that is a collector of matchboxes. She has over 3,000 matchboxes from more than 32 countries. You're fascinating. Ladies and gentlemen, Joana Tene, come on.
Thank you, Brent. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. As I said, I'm Joana Tene. I'm the MarTech lead at Whirlpool globally. If you don't know Whirlpool, we are a global company producing small domestic appliances and major domestic appliances. And life at home has been at the core of our business for the last 110 years, since the moment we were founded in 1911. With the global commitment of being the best kitchen and laundry company in the world. If you look at this slide, you can see the timeline. And this year in November, it's going to be 111 years since the moment we were founded. But you can also see a lot of innovation we are doing for our customers. You can see a lot of firsts, from the first iconic KitchenAid standing mixer to the first home dishwasher, and moving more to the sustainability part, our super efficient refrigerator, the first one in 1993. We have a global coverage, and we are trying to be present in almost each country of the world. Probably you know us for our global brands like KitchenAid or Whirlpool, but also for our regional or local brands like In the Seat, Console, Brand Stamp, or Amana. Before giving you kind of a sneak peek into the Whirlpool MarTech, I kind of wanted to show our strategic house with the three layers. We have the why, the North Star, where we are showing where we are heading. Then we have the strategic blocks. And at the very bottom, we kind of have also the place where the technology is, with our values, leadership, and also capability supporting the strategic house. Probably you are wondering why I'm showing this. And in the middle layer, you can see the strategic decisions. You can see the products, and probably lots of you maybe are engineers over here, so everything related to product leadership or redefining what product is in the small domestic appliances and major domestic appliances world, but also reinventing the value chain. The area that I'm going to focus today, it's the third one, strategic imperative, and is related to winning the digital consumer journey. Both the strategic decisions and the building blocks at the bottom supporting this are flooding from our North Star and the why. The performance that you can see there in the left, it's kind of an outcome of our strategic house. And again, probably if you are asking why I'm showing this, is because I think the most common question I'm getting as a MarTech is to have an opinion about e-commerce platform or a marketing technology. So I do have personal opinions, and I do have experience with different platforms, but I think it comes back to these strategic decisions. And this needs to be made even for very traditional companies, not only for startup or innovation companies. And I do have a personal favorite platform. It's in the e-commerce or MarTech world, but this is more related to my experience in current company, where we are going to a digital transformation, or in my previous company, which was a native technology company, but also in my evolution as a marketeer from digital marketing to marketing operations, and today to MarTech. As you can see, the technology stack and the MarTech is part of the building blocks, and this is part of the strategic house. Going back to the operating model and the way we have it approached at Whirlpool, you can see that what we have in the middle is the strategic decision that we have made. Probably you'll be thinking that for a very traditional company, a manufacturer with 110 years of experience, we will go with a centralized option. Well, we don't have a CMO, and we consider that this is an outdated model that doesn't fit Whirlpool's need. It doesn't serve our imperative of winning the digital consumer journey. We also looked into the decentralized model, where we could leverage capabilities at scale in all 5 regions that we have. But we found the gaps and very hard to scale using a decentralized model, especially when you need to kind of scale the capabilities and the digital talent across the region. Again, we are a global company, and we have all 5 regions that need to be covered. So the model that we went with is the Digital Center of Excellence. This was a work design strategic decision, part of that middle layer of the strategic house. And it's a hybrid model. So we are balancing between the centralized and decentralized model, going with the Digital Center of Excellence model. The team is in charge with accelerating the innovation and also with supporting the maturity acceleration of our direct-to-consumer D2C e-commerce we have in all of the regions. As you can see, we are a global team, and we have different subject matter experts based in different regions, from CRO and experimentation, which is very close to the MarTech area, data analytics, content, and privacy, which is very important. And then we have everything related to SEO, strategy, digital product, agile, and then CRM, cybersecurity, growth, and not at least the talent part, because the digital talent and the support from our HR and talent partners are very important. Going back to how MarTech actually supports the journey, as consumers were moving online, accelerated in the last 2 years, we are servicing to our D2C e-commerce platforms consumers all over the world. And here I kind of put a sneak peek representation of all our regions. You can see we are supporting across the journey from the initial consideration to post-purchase. And everyone kind of wants to achieve that seamless experience. And I can say that that's something hard to achieve. That's a continuous work that never stops. And the way MarTech supports in the house is through those capabilities as part of the building blocks, and also from the initial consideration until the moment of purchase. Because going back to the way we are structured as imperatives, we are only servicing the D2C part, so business to consumer, not the business to business part. That's a separate business unit, going from the initial consideration until the moment of purchase. And it's the same for all the other streams we have in the DCoE and also in our strategic house. MarTech, as I said, it's an ecosystem at Whirlpool, and it's a continuous cycle. We are always busy in kind of harmonizing the tech stack, but also implementing, sunsetting new technologies, and making sure we are kind of covering all the layers and the different capabilities. Before moving forward in the journey and trying to optimize that seamless customer experience, I think it's very important to understand where you currently stand. And I think Steve spoke this morning about the maturity assessment and the different capabilities you need to have in your tech stack. And I think it really goes back to that. First, kind of assessing the technology and see what type of tools and technologies you have over there. You can do that in a very functional way, in collaboration probably with IT, and kind of map the different tools and technologies you have. Then, if you want to become more creative, you can map it against the consumer journey, or you can map it against the funnel. There are different ways in kind of you need to approach it. But it's important to kind of map and assess what you currently have. And of course, the connection between the different tools, if are real time, how the data is flowing. And that is, in our case, is done regionally for each of the 5 regions we have, but also globally to kind of get a better understanding where do we stand in terms of maturity. Going back to the maturity assessment, I think you can use different pillars, and there are a lot of models out there. Probably some of you might already recognize the maturity model we are using, but I think if you go back to Gartner or Forrester, you can find a lot of ways to approach the maturity assessment, and you can have different pillars from people, data, governance, that you kind of assess all the different layers in order to get an understanding of the capabilities and the maturity assessment. The maturity assessment will give you kind of the roadmap in order to address and increase that maturity from current level to kind of moving in the future to service kind of your aspirations and needs. In our case at the Whirlpool, we have a layered approach. So we have the foundational layer where we have the core technologies and core capabilities. And it's something that you can see here at the bottom where you kind of see the e-commerce platform and then the activation layer, data insights and data management. And then this is structured in 2 tiers, light-weighted and heavy-weighted. So this is the base foundational model where you have kind of a strict amount of platform that you can choose from. It's either tier 1 or tier 2. The moment you move to the next layer, which is the differentiator layers, you have a menu from where you kind of choose. Each of the regions can choose from that menu. And when we come to the 3rd layer, which is the innovation one, you have more flexibility in choosing or testing different technologies in order to kind of try to understand and experiment how you can accelerate the innovation and what you need to deliver. But this is kind of the way we approach in the 3 layers, giving the flexibility to the regions, but in the same time making sure we are harmonizing the architecture and kind of reducing that tech debt. This is how our North America architecture looks like. This was one of the submissions we had for Stacky Awards this year. As you can see, probably there are a lot of vendors that we have here in the hall. And this is the tier 2 architecture, so it's the light-weighted version. It's completely different in all the other regions where the architecture is on tier 1, it's on the heavy-weighted one. So I kind of just wanted to show it. I think it's a good exercise to go back to that assessment of the tech stack. And I know we are short on time, but I was just curious, and maybe you can raise your hand if you know how many MarTech technologies do you currently have in your stack? Okay. So I think there were 4 or 5 raised hands. Maybe all the others, they are not part of the MarTech organization. But I just wanted to show, and you can see again back to the 3 layers, the foundational, differential, innovation. There is not going to be the same weight between the collaboration tools, so the Jiras we have over there with Epsilon or any of the Adobe campaigns or anything we have over there. Kind of a recap of what I was saying earlier, it's an ecosystem that is currently continuously evolving. It's a continuous cycle of the MarTech, constantly reducing the tech debt, harmonizing, implementing, sunsetting. Maturity assessment, capabilities assessment, and then foundational and differential layer, and always thinking about the architecture as a modular. Maybe at this moment you have something for as a CDP or something as an e-commerce platform. You kind of need to think in terms of capabilities and overlap. And in case in 5 years you want to evolve or harmonize, you kind of can remove one of the modules. Try not to be tech stack dependent with a specific vendor. I think that's one of the learnings we had, and continuously try to expand the capabilities, scale, but also follow that maturity roadmap in order to increase your tech stack maturity. And also aiming for the 80-20, we have regions that are constantly reminding us that they are special and they want to try something different. But we are trying to have 80% common architecture, and then the 20% is the freedom that each of the regions has to kind of innovate, explore, and experiment. Again, we are not a centralized or decentralized model, so we are trying to be hybrid, flexible, but in the same time setting up some boundaries. This is very fast kind of a recap of what I was saying. Whirlpool aims to be the best kitchen and laundry company. We are global. Some of the figures from last year was 22 billion in sales. Our strategic house, and going back to winning the digital consumer journey as a strategic decision in our house, we have more than 200 million records in our database. We have more than 100 direct-to-consumer websites servicing our customers with some of our brands. And we have more than 100 technologies in our current MarTech stack. Thank you, everyone.